Hey, what's up, America? I'm here in Brownsville in Miami-Dade County. I'm on 23rd Court, Northwest 48th Street here in Brownsville. And as you can see, we have dozens and dozens of condemned buildings here. Brownsville housing projects. All over Brownsville, we have dozens of housing projects just like this, where all the windows are boarded up, all of the doors are boarded up. Everything is fenced in, and all over Brownsville you have these housing projects that are completely dilapidated and of no use, and Miami-Dade County does nothing. Check it out, guys. All right, guys, so all over Brownsville you have properties just like this, and Miami-Dade County does nothing about it. Right next to a public school. All right, guys, so all these buildings that you see here, completely condemned, boarded up, fenced in, no residents, completely destroyed, an eyesore to the community. All of this is next to a public school. There's actually 2 public schools in the area, and this is a residential community. People live right here. People live right here in these houses. And Miami-Dade County has these buildings like this, lowering their property value. So this is what you get in Miami-Dade County. Next to a church, next to a public school, you have these buildings that the government does nothing about. Brownsville. All right, guys, I just spoke with that young gentleman. He informed me that these properties are owned by housing and urban development. He told me that these properties are sold and they're gonna turn into this property over here pretty soon. This gentleman used to live on the property, right? And about 3 years ago, the properties got shut down and they were put in this state. They were boarded up 3 years ago. He told me that the main issue in these buildings was rats. So in housing projects owned by housing and urban development, the people had to move out and everything had to get boarded up because of rats. So the issue is rats on property owned by housing and urban development, and that's why they had to board all of this up. Rat infestation on housing and urban development property, and these buildings have been boarded up for 3 years here in Miami-Dade County in Brownsville. This is disrespectful to the people of Miami. I don't accept this shit. And here they have these properties becoming destroyed next to people's houses. This is crazy. Only in Miami do we put up with stuff like this. Only in Miami do we put up with this. So here we have it, man. Look at all these properties owned by the government, housing and urban development, completely destroyed here in Brownsville 3 years ago. They've been in this condition for 3 years. Boarded up, fenced up. Rat infestation confirmed by one of the residents that used to live here. He didn't want to be on camera, so I didn't film him. He was a minor, he was 17. But he gave me the info. He used to live on one of these properties and he was able to find a nicer one across the street. His family was. And all these projects that I'm showing you are they're in a small area. All right, guys, we're here in the Brownsville housing projects. I want to show you guys how all these projects here in Brownsville have been condemned and shut down. As you can see, all the windows have been boarded up, all the doors have been boarded up, and this is in a residential community here in Brownsville, Miami-Dade County. Look at this. All these properties are boarded up. All the windows are boarded up and all the doors are boarded up. All right, guys, and this is Miami-Dade County. And there's a lot more than this neighborhood. All over Brownsville, you have all these condemned buildings that are shut down. Check it out, guys. I'm gonna go to more properties and show you, take videos and pictures. This is in a residential community, guys, right next to a public school, right over there. As you can see, we're in a school zone, and there's houses right here. People live in these houses right here. And this is what you get from Miami-Dade County. They do nothing about these properties. I have no idea how long they've been like this, but they've been like this for a while, you could tell. Brownsville housing projects. What a shame, Miami-Dade County. Guys, so we're still reporting here in Brownsville. As you can see, we're at Bannerman Park, and we're here still reporting in the Brownsville housing projects. We came to another project 2 blocks away from the previous one we were at, and as you can see, we have another housing project completely shut down, completely dilapidated, completely fenced in, completely boarded up. All the windows are boarded, all the doors are boarded. And this is right across the street from a county park. There you have a county park. An old dilapidated housing project. Lowering property values here in the community. We're in Brownsville. Look at this, look at the condition of this property. I don't know who the owner of the property is, to be completely honest. But look at all these housing projects, completely dilapidated, destroyed. Nothing here. Wasting space. Prime real estate in Miami-Dade County. This is what you get. Miami-Dade County Commission doesn't do anything. Completely empty. Here in Brownsville. Very close to a public school. And right across the street from a Miami-Dade County public park, Mary Bannerman Park. And here you have an empty lot with overgrown grass. So we're gonna keep walking, and I'm gonna show you that there's another housing project right here. I had no idea about this housing project. I'm just walking in this neighborhood. And here we have another housing project that's completely dilapidated. State of disrepair. Everything boarded up. So we're just reporting on the poor state of these housing projects here in Brownsville. They need to get demolished, and the property needs to be sold off so people can build something good here, something valuable here. Right across the street from a church. Miami-Dade County, they have no respect for you. Right across the street from this church, right across the street from a public park. Very close to a public school. And it keeps going, this housing project. They just keep going. Check it out. Look, right across the street from somebody's house. So the rats could hide here. They could hide here, the rats. They go eat at your house. They go rummage through your garbage, and then they come back and sleep over here. I want to show you guys the trash on this property. Look at all that trash. Look at all that debris. How you doing? Ma'am, how many years has this been like this? They need to get rid of this shit. Look at all that trash, guys. Look at all that trash. There's people living on the property right across the street from somebody's house. Right across the street from the church. This is what you get with Miami-Dade County. Irresponsible government. They don't have their shit prioritized in Miami-Dade County. More trash, more rubbish. Look at it. Brownsville, housing projects. All right, guys, so all of those housing projects that I showed you, this is what they're supposed to become. They're supposed to look something like this in the near future. As you can see, it's called Lincoln Gardens, Project RAF number 2015-01. So they've had this in development since 2015. Project description: development of a mixed income master planned community in 3 phases to include public housing, affordable workforce, and home ownership units. Phase 1 will consist of multifamily garden style buildings and townhome units with parking. Residents amenities will include community center, pavilion, and pocket garden, and improvements to the abandonment park. Phase 2 will consist of mid-rise affordable elderly apartment building, and phase 3 will be the addition of townhome units for home ownership. And this is brought to you by Keon Hardeman. Keon is cool, he's straight, bro. The rest of these people are fucking idiots, and he's not the brightest, but he's the coolest. And this is what those projects are going to become in the near future. As you can see, the project was divided into 3 phases, and we're here in Brownsville. Now, this is much better. Of course, we can agree that it's much better, but it shouldn't take this long. And just like everything in Miami-Dade County, it gets delayed and delayed. So this is what the units are gonna look like in the future. Housing and Urban Development, Miami-Dade County. Hopefully, these buildings don't become infested with rats like the other ones, and they have proper maintenance. Brand new units, Miami-Dade County, tax money at work. All right, guys, those housing projects that you saw, this is how it's supposed to look like in the future. But I spoke with one of the residents that told me the old units had to get condemned. As you can see, the older units over there, those units are supposed to become these units over here. But one of the residents told me that the reason that these buildings over here were condemned was because of a rat infestation, and they've been in this condition for 3 years. 3 years ago, the residents had to move out because of rats, and the buildings are still in that condition. Miami-Dade County. But this is what they'll become in the future, and hopefully they have better maintenance. Miami-Dade County. Pieces of trash.